What's up, guys? Fuzzy here, Cap over there. It's nice to be back
Hello.
on YouTube this week. In week 4, we covered a bunch of different topics. We were arguing about QBs for a little bit, comparing Kenny Pickett to Josh Allen with their college careers.
Yes.
We were talking about how the Colts somehow beat the Chiefs. It was a very interesting game. Refs seem to ruin everything that is going good again. Broncos, Commanders, 49ers, a bunch of teams fucking suck. Aaron Rodgers saw some shit on the Jumbotron. Who knows? He hasn't really specified it. He just said, hey, I saw something and I passed the info along. Good luck.
You must play for the Astros.
Jaguars showed up out of nowhere, blew out the Chargers. Completely mind-blowing. Lions are staying competitive under MCDC. It seems like a really good coach. We covered all the injuries that are plaguing the NFL right now. Thoughts and prayers go out to Myles Garrett since he suffered a rollover accident with his girlfriend. Seems like he's doing okay, though. We have our first London game of the season. We cover that briefly.
Hello, mate.
Talk about George Pickens' beautiful catch. Best catch in the NFL in the last 35 years. We cover a new rule from the NFL allowing players to wear their flag of nationality or origin on the back of their helmets. That's pretty cool.
We like that.
Yeah, we like when the players are able to do stuff like that. Went over the power rankings. There's some surprises on there. Covered the top 5 passers. And then we went over our verses. One of us won. It wasn't a tie this week.
I wonder who won.
I wonder who it was.
This might be your first dub. We'll see.
Maybe. All right, guys. Got to buckle up and dial in.
Dial in, boy. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So let's start the show off. The Colts. I fucking hate the Colts.
Man, we need a title for every week.
I hate the Colts.
Okay.
This is the week of upsets.
Oh, close draws. I feel like there's a lot of games that really came down to the bottom. Like, imagine how many picks you would have got right if it just went one more play your way.
So, we'll get into verses later. I'll gladly bring that up later.
I'm actually kind of I'm thinking like maybe we can just take that out. You know what I'm saying?
Of course you do.
What do you think?
Why? Is it because you dominated the first week and
we tied the second?
We did tie the second. And then what happened with this week?
I'll have to save it for later. We'll have to save it for verses.
Okay. But man, the week of upsets, I really have to. I think that's the best title, honestly, for this week. Colts somehow managed to beat the Chiefs.
Man,
in Indianapolis.
That didn't sit well for me.
No, it didn't. It didn't either for me. And the main reason is with a few minutes left in the game, the Colts were running off the field with their punting unit coming on, and a ref called an abusive language foul, which gave the Colts a first down and allowed them to go and score.
That's rough. That happened in on the Monday night game too as well.
Oh, did it?
Not the cuss words, but like, come on, hello. These guys are like stomping each other out. They're tackling each other. It's a very brutal game. And then like one small little, oh, you cussed.
Yeah.
Let's take them out. But that's ridiculous. Wilson slapped the ball down. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm not a fan of those kind of plays.
I feel like the refereeing has been really, really good for the first few weeks. But I'm a little upset to see like it's starting to actually affect games again. Like the Colts Chiefs game, Chiefs should have. I mean, it shouldn't have come down to a 1-score game in the first place. Like the final score was 2017 Colts. It shouldn't have been there at all. Like the Chiefs should have blown them out. But
yeah, and I know that doesn't sit well with them as well when it's again, man. A player trying to make a good play when you should have just got out of bounds. Man, that offensive coordinator lost his shit. Mahomes was pissed. That's not a good look for them.
Yeah. Broncos, Commanders, 49ers, Chargers, I would say. They all suck. They're all terrible. I can't hate on the Chargers as much as I would hate on the Broncos, 49ers, Commanders. Commanders, it's obvious. You got Carl Wentz in there. You know, good old Carl.
Carl!
Carson is just fucking terrible. You know,
but they're top. I mean, they might look bad, but they're like top 6 in total offense.
I mean, they only put up 8 points against, a very good Eagles team.
Right. I think we kind of knew how that was going to pan out.
But
though.
To see how Carson Wentz played in the first week.
Right.
You know, it was like, oh, okay. You know, especially because they played against a really good Jaguars team. And people didn't realize the Jags were going to be that good. I don't think the Jags realized they were that good either. But then they lost to the Lions, which the Lions might be a team. And then they just got stomped by the Eagles. 24-8. Could you count that as a stomping? I would. That's multiple scores away.
Right. But Wentz, I think he's been sacked 15 times already.
Yeah, that's why the Commanders are dead.
And then they sit there and say like the Bengals, oh man, they picked Chase. They should have got an offensive line. But you know, he's been sacked 15 times as well. So
it was 24 times in what, 3 games? That's a lot. That's bad.
Especially for a young quarterback.
And not to mention he had his appendix removed.
I have a 3-inch scar on my stomach. That is brutal.
Yeah. He was dealing with appendicitis during training camp and had his appendix removed. So all those sacks that are coming in, he's feeling it.
Do you know what's crazy? I still like, if I have like a abs day or my daughter kicks a ball randomly and it hits me in my lower abdomen. Oh man, my first, because you remember the pain.
Yeah.
So like, if your body's like, oh no, it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, because it's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore.
But it's definitely muscle memory.
It's that phantom pain.
Yes, that's a real thing.
Broncos just super unimpressive. I know it's growing pains with Russell Wilson getting in there, but to only put up 11 points, you paid Russell Wilson $242 million,
right?
And he has only given you 743 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception.
That's pretty rough.
Through 3 weeks.
43 points in 3 weeks. They're 2-1 though.
Not only that though, but Geno Smith, who only got a $3.5 million contract, he currently has the best QB rating in the NFL, and he has 717 yards, which is just a few less than Russell Wilson. But he also has 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Mm.
So was that $242 million really worth it?
Right. I know. That's what I was I get really scared when a team invests that, because I understand
that's a lot of money.
The cap money is going to get inflated, but for one player, like, so what are you supposed to do with the rest of the important positions on your team?
You don't have them anymore. Russell Wilson's playing offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, Chubb he was supposed to be like this huge stud coming out prospect, right?
Who? Nick Chubb?
I don't know his first name. He's the DN or the outside linebacker for the Broncos. Chubb, 1st round draft pick.
It's escaping me.
Oh well,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they invested in him, but it's like, I think this is his 4th year, so it's. I mean, are they going to lose him as well, or like? I don't know. I'm not really sure about their salary cap situation, but I'll tell you this: when a team spends all that money on one quarterback, I think you can go back and see like maybe one team with a maxed out contract for their quarterback has won the Super Bowl in like the past 19 years. It's almost impossible to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Tom Brady. I mean, I think those numbers are skewed a little bit just because of how many rings he won, and he was always an underpaid quarterback.
But he also always restructured consistently. I mean, that guy's never like, give me 25 mil right now. I deserve it. Like he's always been a team player. Well, of course, you better. You know, like
he's trying to pay for a divorce. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was gonna say this guy has a diet. That shit's expensive.
49ers, man. 49ers, dude. I'm done with betting on the 49ers. They've let me down against the Bears and the Broncos. But I mean, that Broncos 49ers game, 11-10. Like, that's such a terrible scoring game.
You know, there's an issue when the quarterback who was supposed to get kicked out of town is loved by the players, by his teammates. And then that quarterback is telling the offensive coordinator, your fucking plays suck. So it's like, okay, they have issues.
Yes.
But do they have more issues than the Raiders? Because now they're having player meetings, player only meetings.
Wait, who is?
The Raiders.
The Raiders are having player
only meetings, man.
I did not know that.
And they are definitely better than what they're showing on the field, man. They are definitely better than that.
Well, I've heard a rumor. Oh yeah, Derek Carr and Max Crosby led a player only meeting. That's not a good sign. That's
at all.
That's that. Whenever you hear that, that is terrible. You know, I heard a rumor.
I'm all ears.
I don't know how true it is.
I'm all ears.
I heard a rumor that Bill Belichick left the offensive coordinator position open on his team because he knew Josh McDaniels was going to eventually come crawling back.
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe that might be too far down the grapevine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
He's got two defensive minds there. He doesn't have a true offensive coordinator. Bill Belichick himself is in an offensive mind.
Right.
McDaniels was. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we can use him. I'll tell you that. We can definitely use him.
All right. Aaron Rodgers. Some controversy there. He saw something on the Jumbotron that changed the game for them. Or people were speculating it changed the game. He just saw something. On the Pat McAfee show, he said he wasn't sure if it actually changed the direction of the game or not. But it's really interesting to hear how a Jumbotron can, sway the way the game is going. You know what I mean?
So for those that don't know, can you explain?
So he didn't really specify. What he went into detail about was the Bucks were moving down the field. They had a delay of game penalty. They should have had two. And Aaron Rodgers looked up at the Jumbotron, said he saw something, and went and told the coaches about it. And people were saying, "Oh, well, he was talking about the delay of game." Well, the play clock isn't on the Jumbotron.
Mm-hmm.
So, did they see like a hand signal, or a play, or something over?
So
Byron
it wasn't like
shoulder, or like what did they see?
But it wasn't like something that happened on the field where like they saw that they didn't get the first down or whatnot. So they knew.
No, it was like a scheme, like a hand signal. It was something significant.
And then Rodgers just said, "Fuck it."
And he saw, and he went and told his coaches, and I mean, they were able to come away with the victory.
Are we saying that Rodgers is a tattletale?
I mean, shit. I would, if I was in his position, I saw something that I knew was going to go a certain way. I think this was during the 2-point conversion, which would have made the Bucks tie the Packers. Yo, I'd be like, hey, yo, he fucking
right.
He's gonna go this way, you know? Fuck, I want to win, bitch.
Right.
So
what? I mean, I don't. You would think that the middle linebacker, whoever's the quarterback on defense on those Packers, you would think that guy's ready to call a play, that he sees a signal, he sees something.
But if he doesn't see it on the Jumbotron, like say, like that's the thing. Like maybe the
I got it.
Jumbotron was seeing
Yeah.
showing Byron Leftwich, and he was showing like a hand signal that the defensive, whoever's listening to has the helmet and headphones.
Okay. So I feel like you're
mean?
insulting me because I live in Houston. So you're trying to bring up the Astros scandal.
How I didn't say anything about a garbage can
because they knew the signals. Oh, I'm not an Astros fan, trust me. Unfortunately, I'm a Dodgers fan, so it doesn't sit well with me.
See, I'm just thinking it's funny that Tom Brady had a Jumbotron play calling scandal used against him this time.
Hey, what's fair is fair,
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, it's fair. Thoughts and prayers go out to that Jumbotron operator because he's probably fired.
Right. What about those guys that they show the couples hooking up and stuff in the stands?
Man,
hey, you can't
so
be
awkward.
doing that. You can't be doing that, bro.
But how do they know? They don't have a sign like, "Hey, I'm fucking
God
cheating on my wife right now."
You know how Trevor gets? Trevor's always talking about some weird shit. Now he's showing it on the Jumbotron. You know how they get, yeah. So
yeah, whenever I go to a Steelers game this year, because I am gonna go sometime, I'm gonna bring a sign saying I'm cheating on my wife right now. And I'm gonna have her with me.
You should have her hold a sign saying I know.
Like have her find an empty seat a row over, with glasses watching them. That'd be fucking hilarious.
I would fall on the floor if I saw that. I would just fall on the floor.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to a Dallas game this year. It's only 3 hours away. I wanted to get season tickets, but you know how that goes. And then so it's hard to go to football games when you don't have grandmas and stuff like that.
I'm surprised you didn't move to Dallas and you moved to Houston.
Well, I mean, like I always say, of course, I'm a Cowboys fan. First word I ever spoke was football. First shape I learned was a star. I think I was in 5th grade. I did a state project. It was on Texas. I mean, I love to go to Dallas and visit all the time, but you know how it is. You're a parent, and I want my kids to be in a cultured community where I want to be, and that's why I live in the South.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's great.
Yep, it's a beautiful place. I really enjoy it. It's warm every single day, which I like. We went up to Dallas and we went to the game 6 against Mavs versus the Suns.
Okay.
That was intense as hell. The girls loved it. It was fun. Everyone was loving. Beautiful place, but it's a city. It's it's overpopulated. We're not into that stuff, so we don't live in Houston. We live close to Houston.
So when I was living in Orlando, when COVID started to hit, I was actually supposed to move up to just north of Dallas in Richardson.
Yep.
And that ended up falling through. That was a couple years ago now, but I was getting excited to have some decent basketball where I lived and stuff, because I mean I lived in Orlando. The fucking Magic are garbage,
Right. They were dope in the 90s, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice place, but I don't want to live there. We're good.
Yeah.
We pass.
Jaguars blew out the Chargers this week. Fucking just destroyed them.
Is that the surprise of the week? That has to be.
No, I would say Colts Chiefs. Surprise of the week.
We hate that. Well, yeah.
I mean, I would put the Jaguars up there as well, because the Jaguars blew out.
They moved up 18 spots or 10 spots in the power rankings.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
These guys can play. These guys can play.
Trevor Lawrence is 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, I think, right now on the season. He's really, really impressing everybody.
They're 2-1. They've scored 84 points 3 weeks, and they've only gave up 38.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Man, they're looking kind of. Maybe that's the black horse of the league right now.
They look kind of dangerous. It's good to see, though. It's good to see that the Jaguars are competitive again.
And especially because Lawrence, like that guy was supposed to be the next Joe Montana.
He was the
You know what I
guy.
mean? And
He
he's
is
getting
the guy.
right. And he's just been getting beat to shit. So it's nice to let the guy show his talent.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm really happy with how a lot of the teams are. Like the past few years, I've really focused on just the Steelers, and since we've started Dial In, it's nice to be able to enjoy football in general. Like this past week, so because the Steelers played on Thursday, I wasn't really watching one specific game, like focusing, so I had Red Zone up, and dude, Red Zone is a way to go. It was really dope watching all the games go on, except when I saw my parlays just shitting the bed one after one.
You mean sometimes that's what happens, but that's your bed, so sleep in it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty excited with how the Lions are looking. Losing only by 4 to the Vikings. It's a really good Vikings team. Commanders, like I said, they suck. Texans, dude. Texans and Bears had a good matchup. 23-20 went to the Bears.
It was a good matchup because I honestly might think that those are the 2 worst quarterbacks so far this year.
Nah, I disagree.
Mills is awful. He has not had one crucial throw this year, so he can't be ranked last yet because he has 0 for 0.
I would put Daniel Jones below Dougie Davis Mills. I would probably put Mitch Trubisky below him right now. But that's just me being a very upset Steelers fan.
I would literally no. See, I have to. Man, Mills looks awful. Fields looks like he's running for his life.
Yeah.
Those offenses are really struggling, and I mean, I don't even think Mills has made a throw past 20 yards this season. Yeah, those quarterbacks that's rough. Like, I honestly think if the Bears do end up getting a top 2 pick, I think they're going to go for a quarterback. And Mills, I don't think he's going to be there next year unless somehow, some way he figures something out. But they're not looking too hot. Both those quarterbacks are looking hideous.
So Davis Mills played shitty against the Broncos, which sort of expected. The Broncos have a really decent defense. His first game against the Colts was decent. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 240 yards passing on 37 attempts with 23 completions. And this last attempt, he had wow, I just had a brain fart there. His last game, he had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So his longest was 52 yards of the Bears. The one against the Colts was 42 yards for his longest, and then the one against the Broncos was 29 for the longest.
But I mean, attempt over 20 yards. That means the ball has to travel that far.
Yeah, that's
so they consider that a crucial passing play. And I don't think Mills has made one crucial pass play yet this year.
Yeah.
But the lowest QB rating is Bears.
Really?
Second lowest is the Niners. So Bears, Fields is 50% or is rated 50 QB rating. So that's a clear shot worst. Niners, you can't really pick, or you can't really consider that because of what happened so far. The third lowest is the Patriots, Jones. I don't have a lot to say about that because they have a shit ton of first downs. It's rough to say. Colts had a really bad game. They're 4th lowest. Then we have the Texans with the 5th lowest, tied with Trubisky. So Mills and Trubisky are pretty similar, but also as well, Flacco.
Yep.
Right, but how many passing yards he has? So like the QB rating is pretty rough. But from what I've seen from watching the games, at the bottom of the barrel for my 2 right now is definitely Fields and Mills. Okay. They do not look good.
Okay, I can see that. Let's see. Thoughts and prayers go out to Myles Garrett.
Yes, I heard about was it a car accident?
Yeah, so he was driving his Porsche with his girlfriend, and he ended up flipping the Porsche multiple
Ooh,
times. It
really?
looked like a GT2 RS or GT3 RS or something like that. Like it was a nice car. Apparently it was wet roads, and he tried avoiding an animal.
Oh,
So thoughts and prayers go out to him. Apparently he went to the hospital. So in the video I saw, his girlfriend was laying down, but she was moving. And he was able to get up and walk to the ambulance. It looked like he had a cut on his hand. His shirt was torn up a little bit. But he looks like he's okay. Apparently he's gonna try and play this week, which is gonna be crazy if he does.
well, he's superhuman.
I don't think they should let him. They're super cautious about like concussion protocol. Dude, you flip a car, like everything in your body is moving around and jumping.
I was just gonna say, even if you don't get a concussion, that's still like that's gonna rattle you.
Whiplash,
like emotions, everything.
Yeah,
everything. Because that's trauma right there.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to him. Even though he's a brownie, I don't like to see that stuff. It's super unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
People were bigger than the game, so
100%.
Haven't heard anything on his girlfriend, but I'm hoping she's doing all right as well, and I'm sure we'll get an update at some point. Speaking on concussions, did you watch the Dolphins game?
In and out, yes.
Did you see that Tua got put into a casket, carted off the field, and then came back in the third, fourth quarter? Because that dude should not have been playing.
They gave that boy some penicillin.
Dude,
use your right hand. You're fine.
He got hit, and when he gets up, now when I played football, somebody's shaking their head. It's because they can't see straight. Their bells rung like.
Right.
This dude stands up, shakes his head, starts falling back down, has to get picked up and like helped off the field.
Oh, he stumbled.
Oh,
I didn't see that.
It was bad. And he was pulled. They went through the concussion procedure with him, and then he came back into the game. They said he didn't have a concussion. They said it was a back injury. And apparently he's getting all upset with people, so he's going to be upset with us. Fuck you too. I don't care. He's saying it's just a back injury. It's nothing head related.
He walked back into the game. What button do I hit, boss?
All right, we're on defense, right?
Right. I got it. Put me in.
Put me in, coach.
That's not a good look. Man.
Especially with it being McDaniel's first season as a head coach. If it actually comes out that Tua suffered a concussion, it's going to be really bad. So I was listening to Footballin' with Ben Roethlisberger. It's his new podcast that he's doing every week. And he had Merrill Hodge on. And Merrill Hodge was talking about the significance of some concussions that he sustained. And
right.
He ended up dying in a locker room. And they brought him back to life and took him to the hospital and whatnot. It was crazy. Listen, so they did like a 2-parter episode because I guess they went hunting.
Before and after life?
Well, no, like it was just that was in the second episode that they did together. It was awesome though, dude. I definitely recommend everybody check it out. But yeah, it's super scary. Doesn't make sense that Tua saying it's a back injury. I mean, I can sort of guess like a stinger, maybe like a nerve issue, like in your back could possibly affect your legs.
Right.
But you're not shaking your head like how he was. I mean, maybe you could, but it looked like a concussion.
Right. You don't sprain your ankle and you start tapping yourself in the forehead to walk straight.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get into the injuries. For week 3, some significant injuries happened this week. We'll just start going down the list though. AJ Green is expected to miss at least 1 game after suffering a bone bruise in his knee. But Rondale Moore is expected to join Hollywood Brown and Greg Dortch for week 4, so that's going to be a plus for the Cardinals.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens more often? AJ Green gets injured or people go sit in a Starbucks drive-thru?
The Starbucks drive-thru. AJ Green does get injured a lot.
Is it close? Like over under? Like
yeah, it's fucking close. Like he's
okay, I think I was too.
Yeah, he's fucking injured everywhere. Justin Pugh still considered day to day with an elbow injury, but he's expected to play against Carolina. Let's see, with Atlanta Falcons, Elijah Wilkinson was inactive for the Falcons' Week 3 win over the Seahawks, which I was happy to see Marcus Mariota get that win. However, the team expects him to rejoin practice today. I don't know if they did. I haven't seen a follow-up yet. For the Baltimore Ravens, they were down to their 4th left tackle of the season already in 3 games.
Oh boy!
After Patrick McCarry suffered a sprained ankle in the win over New England. That's no bueno. Haven't heard any updates on him. Ronnie Stanley hasn't played since week 1 of last season and was inactive again due to his ankle injury. Jawan James is done for the year thanks to a torn Achilles. I didn't see that injury. I'm wondering if it has something to do with the turf situation that everybody's talking about right now. So
I mean, I just feel like, Kobe hit 2 out of 2 free throws with a torn one. So, I mean, I think he just walk it off.
Yeah, just walk it off, man. You don't need an Achilles.
So the grass has been an issue.
It has. I'm going to get into that a little bit more often, or a little bit later on here. Let's see. Bills were missing 6 defensive starters on Sunday. So the Dolphins were really celebrating over beating the practice squad of the Bills.
So maybe that's why they're ranked lower on the power rankings right now.
Yeah,
even though they just beat them.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking I was going to bring up as well. So the Bills were also missing both of their Pro Bowl safeties. Jordan Poirier is considered day-to-day with his foot injury, and Micah Hyde is expected to miss the rest of the season due to his neck injury. I believe that is the one that went to the hospital, which is really unfortunate. Carolina Panthers, their secondary was banged up with Dante Jackson and CJ Henderson dealing with neck injuries. A lot of those this year. A lot of ACL neck injuries. Only a handful of Achilles that I've seen so far.
I feel like it's definitely like above the chest and below the kneecaps.
Yeah. David Montgomery for the Bears is considered day-to-day with knee and ankle injuries after leaving the Bears win. Cincinnati Bengals have a short week. Joe Mixon was limited in practice Monday, but I believe they're expecting him to bounce back. He has struggled this season, averaging just 2.8 yards per carry through 3 weeks, despite leading the NFL in total touches. That's just goes to show that their offensive line has been horrible.
Right. I think that has a lot to do with them not being able to protect the quarterback. So even when they want to get like a short second down, they can't hold up.
Yep. We've already covered the Cleveland Browns with Myles Garrett. That's the only significant injury that they have. With the Cowboys, Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz were both inactive for the Cowboys Monday night game against the Giants. Sure you guys were missing them.
Oh man, what we really need is Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
I want to say our record without Tyron Smith has to be under 30%. Like it's so hard for us to win a game without that guy, but we're pushing through it. And that actually might be a Dak stat, not a Cowboy stat.
Yeah.
I want to say Dak has won 30% of his games without Tyron Smith.
And the same with the Steelers and TJ Watt. The Steelers haven't won a game without TJ Watt yet.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Edge rusher DeMarcus Lawrence suffered a foot injury Monday night, but did return for the end of the game. He had 3 sacks. 6
tackles, 3 sacks in the first half. That man was getting his money.
Yeah.
Finally. And then look what happens.
Yeah, he would have probably broke the or it would have been leading the sack record so far this year if he didn't get hurt.
Well, the Cowboys are leading the league in sacks right now. They're looking nasty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to admit, with TJ Watt out right now, that's such a big thing. Alex Highsmith for the Steelers is leading the league right now with 4.5 sacks.
Nice. So he's a half ahead.
I believe so.
But I think the Cowboys are leading the league in sacks by like
a
off the top
significant
of my
amount.
head, like 9.
Yeah.
I want to say by 9 maybe, but that's just off the top of my head.
For the Broncos, defensive tackle DJ Jones suffered a concussion on Sunday night against the 49ers. He's currently in protocol and won't be able to return until he clears it later in the week. Detroit Lions, DeAndre Swift is expected to be inactive for the next 2 weeks as he deals with ankle and shoulder injuries.
That's rough because he finally came around.
It says he's fought through the pain. MCDC told reporters he could be held out until after the team's week 6 bye. This is one of those things where I really like Dan Campbell because he's a player first mentality. He understands what it's like being a player himself, and he's taking care of his guys, and it shows.
That's rough. He finally came around. Georgia kid. They're I want to say they're 3rd in the league in rushing right now. That's really gonna put a damper on.
He had 2 touchdowns against the Vikings.
Yeah, that offense is good, but now like how are they gonna look without him?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Tracy Walker's expected to miss the season after suffering a torn Achilles against the Vikings.
Damn.
Yep. Green Bay Packers. David Bakhtiari is back. The Bach is back. He played like 50% of snaps. He was talking about it with Aaron Rodgers. He's like, "Oh man, I like this rotation stuff." So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Jare Alexander. I hope I said his name right. Suffered a groin injury against the Buccaneers, but it isn't expected to be a major issue. He's going to undergo tests this week, but not to be worried because if he's unavailable, Russell Douglas can start on the outside with Keyshawn. I think it's Keyshawn. I suck with names, man. Nixon is going to be filling in the slot. Nothing really for Houston Texans. They are still without Justin Bright, who left the team following week 1 due to personal reasons. But they remain one of the healthier teams in the NFL. Same with the Jaguars, I believe.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah. Yannick Ngakoue was fully back healthy, and had one hell of a performance in week 3 against the Chiefs. Had his first sack of the season and had a couple of quarterback hits. Stephon Gilmore did miss some time on Sunday due to a hamstring injury, but returned to make a game-sealing pass breakup that was intercepted. That was a beautiful interception as well.
Yep, that's a former defensive player of the year.
Yep. Jacksonville Jaguars. So Shaquille Griffin was a late addition to the Jaguars injury report last week and ended up sitting out the team's win over the Chargers due to a hip injury. It's the only real thing there. Kansas City Chiefs are expected to get Harrison Butker back soon.
Buckner?
Butker.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. They just released Matt Amendola from their practice squad, so hopefully he'll be back soon. The Raiders, Rock Ya-Sin, their cornerback, exited early after suffering a knee injury against the Titans. Their other starter, Nate Hobbs, also left the game after entering concussion protocol. The Raiders were without Hunter Renfrow, which was unfortunate because I'm pretty sure that was a game time decision. I still had him on my fantasy team. He ended up getting me 0 points because he was inactive.
Oof.
So it was a little rough. But I still won that week, so it's no big deal.
Okay, big flex.
Hey, I know how to pick them. The Chargers. I like how it says, where to begin with the Chargers.
Oh, boy.
Rashawn Slater's out for the season after rupturing his bicep. That's a nasty injury.
That's rough.
Joey Bosa, this is a massive one, suffered a severe groin injury, is getting surgery, and will be placed on IR.
Damn. Yep, there goes. Yep.
Their center, Corey Linsley, sat out due to an knee injury. J.C. Jackson has inflammation on his surgically repaired ankle. And Justin Herbert is still dealing with his rib tissue. What do they call it? A rib tissue break. So they are hurting right now. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that for the time being. I think the Chargers are gonna have to go to the back burner for bets.
Yeah, they have already gave it like 84 points in 3 games. That is rough. And that's in the AFC West, man. The Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders. Oh man, they look awful.
Yeah. The Rams placed Van Jefferson on IR Saturday. He is recovering from a torn ACL, but is going to miss at least 3 more games. Miami Dolphins, we talked about Tua earlier. He was checked for a concussion on Sunday, but was able to return to the game. However, he is currently dealing with back and ankle injuries, which they're expecting Teddy Bridgewater to actually start. I still think a concussion is going to pop up there.
I mean, you would hope so because it looked like it.
Yeah.
Does Tua's brother play for Maryland? Or it just so happens that they almost had the same exact name and they look identical? I mean, I'm not a big college guy, but I was watching Maryland versus
I don't know.
Who the hell were they playing? I watched one college game over the weekend, and some guy they had the same last name. I was like, damn, he looks Samoan. Well, you call them Islanders, but you know, I want to say he was on Bama, but he transferred.
Yeah, his younger brother Talia is a college football quarterback for the Maryland Terrapins.
And he's right-handed, so he's obviously going to be way better.
Well, Tua is ambidextrous, so.
Yeah, not when he throws the ball.
He throws both-handed with both hands.
he throws 99% of the time with his left hand.
Yeah, but they still have right-handed passes on
when
there.
I play baseball, I went up the bat.
Are you lefty or righty? When you throw?
The right hand.
Okay, yeah, same.
But when I want to kick people out of my house, I use my left hand.
Okay.
Because I'm busy with the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I feel you. See, I just whack them upside the head.
You just look at people. If I walk in your house, oh, hey, I take it back. Call the cops. I'm sorry.
Hey, you see that baseball bat back there? that bat is actually really, really cool. I'll have to show you it here in a little bit. All right. To continue on, the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook is considered day-to-day after exiting Sunday's game early due to a shoulder injury.
What happened to him?
I'm not sure. Probably just took a hit. And it's a shame. Dalvin Cook's so damn good.
And he's not looking good this year.
Yeah, he missed time last year with a shoulder injury as well. So I'm wondering if maybe it's like a thing that's just popping up again.
Right.
Apparently the team is expecting him to wear a harness. Yeah. Hey, bro, just strap this on your body. You'll be all right. New England Patriots. Mac Jones. Rick James, bitch. No, Mac Jones suffered a severe high ankle sprain on Sunday and will miss an undetermined amount of time. So I believe the report that was coming out is that Mac Jones was told by the Patriots it's a 4-week injury. However, Mac Jones said, no, it's a 6 to 8 week injury.
Uh-oh.
So Mac Jones is getting a second opinion. Haven't heard anything more on it. I'm sure he's probably got it by now. But with Mac Jones out, Patriots are going to go with Brian Hoyer. So
write them off.
Yep,
they're not making the playoffs.
Hoyer is 1-12 as a starter, completing 61.4% of his passes, throwing 14 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That was since 2016.
They might literally be the bottom of the barrel. Them and Bears. Man, that is rough. I did not know that. I must have missed that.
With that injury, it's big.
I must have missed that. Yep. Them, Texans, Jets, they're going to be, you might as well write that off.
Yep. New Orleans Saints. So the Saints' entire receiving core is pretty banged up. Michael Thomas is dealing with a toe injury. Jarvis Landry is dealing with a foot injury, and Traquan Smith is dealing with a concussion. You also have Jameis Winston, which they believe he's going to be out this week due to his back injury. He's been playing through it.
I think you called that last week, no?
Well, I didn't think he was going to play last week, and he did. So, New York Giants.
If you're looking for a job, I know who's hiring.
Giants were dealt a tough blow in their first loss of the season when Sterling Shepard was carted off the field in the closing seconds.
He was jogging. He was jogging, so you know it's really bad.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah. Super serious knee injury. I believe it's an ACL, they said.
Yep.
Did they say it's just an ACL or ACL MCL?
I'm not sure if it was two different ligaments, but he tore that.
Yeah, the video's disgusting. I hate seeing knee injuries. They make my knees hurt, dude.
Yeah, if you're almost jogging to where you're speed walking and you blow out your knee, that's why there's 30 players around him, because if it's non-contact, no speed, no cutting, you're just jogging down the field and it snaps like that. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Your body giving up on you, and that's where I wanted to bring in the turf versus grass. So it happened in the Super Bowl with Odell Beckham. And it was like the same exact thing. It was a non-contact injury, ACL. And it's starting to creep up a lot now with all these turf fields. And players are getting very frustrated with it. All the players hate it. They were talking about it for like 3 hours yesterday on Pat's show. I don't know. That's shitty.
So they're saying that the turf isn't the way to go?
Yeah, they're saying turf is causing a lot of the injuries. So with normal grass, you're gonna have dirt mixed in with
traction.
Yeah, not so much just traction, but it's gonna be more spongy. Is what they're saying.
Yeah, mischoice of words. So there's more give.
When you step. It's not as big of an impact when you're running. Whereas on the turf, they have the turf, they have the little plastic BBs, which help a little bit. But when you're running full speed, I mean, you're putting a lot of force down, and you feel that concrete, that hard compacted whatever is underneath it, and it's messing with guys. So, I think they did like a study, and they determined that it would cost each NFL team like $10 to $20 million to revamp each stadium if they were to go to grass. So we'll see.
Well, what made them go to turf?
Cheaper to maintain.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but here's my opinion. Right, you're paying these guys all this money. And then you're just gonna cheap out on one of the things that's gonna keep them healthy. Like how are you gonna go and pay a wide receiver $30 million a year just for his knee to be fucked after week 5, week 6, and then all his money's guaranteed?
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah. But I mean, it's hard to speak for owners because they're in a different mind frame than what we are. We cover football, and but there has to be a reason why. The maintenance of every month and every season, what they save, I don't know if it's worth it because I have no idea. I'm not an owner, but there has to be a reason why they want to put the turf in there, and like maybe they just want to risk it for the biscuit and see what happens. I'm not really sure. So but even if you go to like junior college games, they're all turf. They're all turf.
So a lot of younger guys, so that was another thing that got brought up. A lot of younger guys don't mind the turf because they feel faster on it. And I mean, they're young and healthy, but it's a lot of the older guys. Whitehouse just said, Whitehouse or Whitestead? I don't remember his name. He was the Rams offensive lineman.
Whitestead, I want to say.
I think it's Whitestead. He said he would have played till 50 if he was playing on a grass field his entire career. Like he honestly feels like it was that big of an impact. So who knows? You should look up Tottenham. They have a natural grass field for soccer, which is where I believe the London game is going to be taking place this week. And it's cool, dude. They have like a level, and it like raises up.
You talking about the Spurs in England? Tottenham?
I don't know. I don't know the teams over there.
No,
sorry. I watch American.
Is it the London soccer team? Tottenham?
No. So NFL is going to London this week.
Okay, what stadium is it? Let's look it up real fast. I'll tell you exactly who plays there. Because I was gonna bring this up that I'm sure you'll look it up faster. If you look at any major league, the top 5 leagues in the world or in Europe, you can say not one team plays on turf. Every single team plays on grass.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah, that's the Spurs. They play in the English Premier League.
So they have like 2 levels, and like lowers or raises like the entire field, and then slides under the bleachers and shows the turf field. So people were excited. They definitely don't
play on that shit.
No, they play on the grass.
For football.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way soccer players are. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so guys were excited because they thought they were going to play on grass. And then they showed the video of it showing the turf. And now people aren't so excited.
Yeah, now that you brought it up, every cut you make, every time you try to get through a tackle.
Wear and tear, man.
Man, that sounds rough. It's the same thing. Like I grew up playing basketball, and asphalt was so much worse than playing on hardwood floors.
I mean, look at how the Raiders field used to be, the Dolphins field used to be, the Steelers field used to be. How it was all part baseball,
right?
So,
and it was fine.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme with the they were redoing your guys' field?
No,
just leave the inside out because they don't even use it in the first place.
No.
Because you guys don't run the ball.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, no, I did see that. That was fucking great.
Man, that killed me.
Yeah.
I feel the same with Zeke. Is like, if you give him the ball 20 times a game, you'll see a different player. But it's hard to do that because the game it just depends on how the game's going.
Yeah. Let's see. New York Jets signed former Chief Mike Remmers to their practice squad after George Font suffered a knee injury on Sunday, another knee injury. They don't think it's terribly serious, but he is expected to miss week 4. Zach Wilson is expected to be the starter against the Steelers. Which is good for the Steelers.
You think so?
Yeah, I'd much rather play against Zach Wilson than Joe Flacco right now. I'm surprised that they're going to make that switch. Joe Flacco's just been he's looked good, man. I mean,
he's looked good, but they've looked bad.
Last week was rough. He had a couple of interceptions, but still.
That's what I'm saying. But if you only look at the numbers, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but he's looked good number-wise, but the team looks awful. So, I mean, if
I
that's
think there's
your
a lot more to it then.
And he's back, you got to bring him in. You get bring the starting quarterback back in,
But the team has been surrounding Joe Flacco. He has been their leader in all of their reports that are coming out. So maybe it's something else. Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Goedert missed some time against the Commanders due to a shin injury, but he was able to return and finish the game. Darius Slay also missed the series late in the first half, but he said it was due to cramping. The Steelers, Akilah Witherspoon, our cornerback, suffered a hamstring injury on Thursday against the Browns, and he left the game in the third quarter. That was pretty significant. Levi Wallace got 22 snaps across from Cam Sutton against the Browns. and the former Bill allowed 1 catch and had a pass breakup. I was really excited when they signed Levi Wallace. I thought it was going to be a really good addition to the defense. We'll see how that goes.
Well, now that we're on the topic of catches, your boy Pickens.
Oh, I'm going to get into that.
It was a double backflip 360. What was that?
Best catch in the league in the past several years.
I would put that over Odell's.
I wouldn't,
catch wise, because I wouldn't say a moment, but catch wise,
yeah,
difficulty.
Catch wise, definitely. Moment wise, no, because OBJ's was a touchdown, and I believe it was the game winning touchdown.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I don't know. I got to bring that
up, but no, George Pickens. I mean, you have to. He went on the record saying, "I'm always open."
That's what you want.
Yeah. And if you're gonna say you're always open, you've gotta show up in those big plays. I mean, a homeboy looked like he pulled the lazy boy all the way back, and
his knees were above his head.
Yeah,
it
was impressive.
He should probably just go to the X Games and just do snowboarding or something like that.
Well, I'm just wishing the Steelers would actually get Kenny Pickett to start playing. That way we can actually get some decent passes to those guys.
That's coming, because isn't he a Pittsburgh boy?
He did play 4 years in Pittsburgh, or 5 years in Pittsburgh. He was redshirted 1 year with the Panthers, but he's from New Jersey originally.
Yeah, so, but
he's been in the city. The city loves him. I don't know why Mike Tomlin's not starting him. He says Mitch Trubisky's improving. I was really big against Matt Canada for the longest of time because I can't stand Matt Canada's offense. However, they opened it up a lot more this past week. The offensive line started looking a lot better. Each week they're improving. But Mitch Trubisky is he's locked in on one receiver. I like watching them the entire way. He's not going through his read progressions like he should. Or he checks down.
So do you think it's too fair or too soon to be unfair to Trubinsky?
No.
Or do you think it's time to
start Pickens? Or not Pickens, Pickett.
So you're just ready to go?
Yeah, man. I mean, what else can he learn behind Trubisky at this point?
Yeah.
And I would rather have Pickett start getting reps in with the guys now in actual games, and have him get accustomed to how they play. So,
yeah, I feel like you guys, that's going to be your guys' next baby Jesus.
It is,
I would like to know what Big Ben has to say about it. I wonder what his opinion is.
So he talked on it.
Uh-huh.
He said that Yinzers are being unfair to Mitch. He doesn't think it's all in Mitch. He thought it was a lot scheme-wise, which, again, I agree. The scheme's shit. But Big Ben was a notable Matt Canada hater. I did not enjoy Matt Canada. It's hard, man. Knowing the Steelers have the Jets right now, and then they're going into a slaughterhouse for the rest of the season, is really rough. And I honestly think the Steelers can go under 500 this year. They haven't done it in the past 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me really nervous.
So would you want to? You would still want to throw in your young quarterback into that mess?
I think the young quarterback will make it a better season.
But if you know it's going to be that bad, then what's the point of putting him in?
Well, because
that's going to stunt his development.
No, I mean, he's 24 years old. How often do you see an NFL rookie quarterback at 24? Not very often. He had 5 years in college.
That's a good point.
I think he'll get a good repertoire with the receiving core that he has right now. He just needs the game experience. And
yeah, but it's not going to be a good experience. He's just going to get plowed on.
No, because the offensive line has been playing a lot better. I think our main issue right now is Trubisky's not looking at all of his reads, even with the.
So you think your main issue on your offense is
Trubisky?
Got it.
I think Trubisky and scheme. Trubisky first, then scheme. So even on that beautiful Pickens catch, there was I think it was Deontay Johnson was wide open in the middle of the field that could have easily ran for 30 yards.
But he was making I don't watch every game, but I've seen him make some really nice plays that just don't develop.
He's definitely made
throws,
some,
not plays. Sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely made some really good throws. But it's just they're few and far between.
My opinion, I think it's too soon, and why throw your young, hopefully future quarterback into the Lions' den? Well, there's no need for that.
Look at what the Bills did with Josh Allen.
Yeah, but Josh Allen's light years ahead of.
Is he?
Yeah, he was NFL ready when he came in.
So was Pickett.
To who? Who said this?
Peyton Manning. A lot of people.
That's like, okay, but that's not okay. So, what staff member, what coordinator, what coach, what owner, like what you know what I mean? Like
a lot of people.
All I'm saying is
there was a lot of reports about it.
So I would say that the outside the box people are like, oh my, Allen went so early, but Allen was ready. He was ready.
Well, I mean, Josh Allen was rough in his first few seasons.
I hope you're not making a comparison between the two. I hope that's not what you're doing.
I mean, there's nothing to compare right now. There's nothing to compare right now.
What?
There isn't anything to compare.
Okay, then you can rewind time and go back to like how he played in college compared to your boy. There's no. I don't know. I don't even think I can even entertain that because I don't see that. But my thing is that 5 years in Pittsburgh, that's gonna be your next in kin. Hey, protect him, groom him, get that boy ready. I know the fans want to see him. You know what I mean?
Hold on, let's see.
No, you're gonna pull the.
Yep,
you can't do that.
Goddamn right, I am.
You can't do that because
Josh Allen 6'5", 230. Mm-hmm. Kenny Pickett 6'3", 220.
Okay.
So Josh Allen, 3 years in Wyoming, had 5,066 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett, in 5 years, mind you, the first year was only 4 games, had 12,303 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Kenny Pickett had 81 touchdowns to 32 interceptions. Josh Allen had 44 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. Kenny Pickett was 136.3 QB rating.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen was 137.7.
Right. But that's just surface numbers.
No, exactly. But that's all you can really compare off the two, right? In their college.
No, that's not true. Because
Kenny Pickett has changed college rules. With how the game is played.
Let's compare where they were drafted.
Where was Josh Allen drafted? He was... seventh.
Before Mahomes.
Okay.
Right.
When was Mahomes?
Do you see where I'm getting at? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Actually, don't even see the Chiefs on here.
I think he's like 17th overall or something like that. Mahomes. But do you understand what I'm saying? Were they even in the
same draft?
Yeah, they're the same year, weren't they? We definitely have to edit out the Google searches. No, he was in the 2017.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
So Mitch Trubisky, funny enough, was drafted second in that draft.
Okay, maybe that's why I thought of that.
Patrick Mahomes was 10th. And Josh Allen was 7th.
What year was it? 19, right?
So no. Mahomes was 17, Allen was 18. But Baker Mayfield was drafted before Josh Allen. Sam Darnold was drafted before Josh Allen.
But you understand
there wasn't a lot of quarterbacks or a lot of teams that needed a decent quarterback in the beginning of the draft this year. That's why he was able to fall so easily to the Steelers. And that's why another quarterback wasn't drafted till what, late second and then early third? Or was it early third? So
I'm not quite sure, but I definitely wouldn't. Them coming out of college, you can definitely see the difference of the caliber of the player. I'm not speaking bad on your boy, but
what have you seen from Kenny Pickett? You haven't.
Well, some, but not like a bunch. Like I knew what college he went to. I didn't know he went for 5 years, so I'll give you that. But I definitely wouldn't put him on the same tier of coming out of college, getting drafted that early. Yeah, that was a QB heavy. Huh?
He was 20th.
20th. Okay.
Kenny Pickett.
Right.
That's not super late.
Yeah, but it's not 7.
Okay.
With other quarterbacks that went. That's, I mean, like.
He was the first quarterback to go, though.
Okay. If he was so great, he would have went earlier.
Nobody needed a quarterback really before him.
I don't want to go through the draft. Let's go look through the draft. Let's see who. Let's see who needed the QB. Because if you are literally trying to compare this boy to fucking Allen.
So here's my thing. So
okay, I'm all ears.
Kenny Pickett has been working with Peyton Manning when he was in the offseason. Peyton Manning himself. Are you going to say Peyton Manning isn't one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time?
No,
that's what it sounds like you're saying. Because Peyton Manning was saying Kenny Pickett is
you
NFL
can't make
ready.
Up things.
Well, he was saying NFL Pickett was NFL ready, and a lot of analysts were saying he was the best quarterback. So Detroit Lions or Jacksonville Jaguars already had one. Detroit Lions paid a shit ton of money. Houston Texans.
Come on now.
They were having their issues with getting rid of Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I'll give you that.
New York Jets, they feel like they have their guy.
Right.
Giants, it's a new regime. New regime. Still have Daniel Jones on his rookie contract.
But you'd rather have
what? Kenny Pickett? Most definitely.
Okay, definitely.
But again, still a new regime on his with the rookie quarterback.
Carolina Panthers. I kind of give that to you.
Carolina
still
Panthers
in the air because you don't know.
Has Baker Mayfield. Giants again. Falcons felt like they loved Marcus Mariota. Seahawks.
There's so many fucking teams that need a quarterback.
Not really. Because the Seahawks were still in with the Seahawks. The Panthers, they were still expected to get either Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G. And neither of those ended up happening properly. Saints, they love their guy. Lions again. Eagles love their guy. Ravens, come on now. Texans grabbed another offensive lineman. Titans, they feel like they have their guy.
There's a lot of spots this boy should have went up.
The only one I see really, honestly, Texans and Giants.
So, okay, I'll give you that. I would say...
And it's not saying... The Giants drafted Kayvon Thibodeau with their 5th overall pick.
I'm thinking Commanders.
Why?
Saints.
They had Carson Wentz and paid him a shit ton of money.
He's awful. Seahawks, Falcons.
Yeah, but that's why the Commanders went wide receiver to get him another weapon.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Saints love... What are you talking about? Saints fucking love Jameis Winston.
I wouldn't say they love him.
They love him. And the Steelers were on the phone with everybody trying to trade up. They've talked about it. They were going to trade up as far as they could to get fucking Kenny Pickett.
I need to see the documentary.
They do a draft video. It's on Steelers.com. Yeah.
I believe you. I'm just saying. There's no way that guy's the same talent coming up.
I don't think you can really compare him. I think Kenny Pickett had a much better college career than Josh Allen did. Josh Allen was rough when he came out of college for the first few years in the NFL. The Bills allowed him to compete with his guys, learn their system, learn while playing, and he's developed into a fantastic quarterback. I think Kenny Pickett is that guy for the Steelers. I really do.
Hey, man, and there's 4 seasons a year. I mean, I'm all ears. I'm all ears, brother.
All right. let's get back into these injuries because there's still a couple more. Dick. The Niners. Trent Williams is expected to miss at least 4 weeks after suffering a high ankle sprain against the Broncos. Seahawks. Their running back Travis Homer was the only Seahawk to suffer an injury on Sunday. The Buccaneers were down to their third string left tackle on Sunday with Donovan Smith inactive with his elbow injury. Playing a really good Packers team. Mike Evans is expected to return week 4 since he served his suspension. Julio Jones is also expected to return for the first time since week 1. Mm-hmm. So when we look at who the Bucs play, they play the Chiefs. Yeah, they're going to need those guys.
Oh boy.
I'm curious on their left tackle as well, since they were down to their third string. What's going on with him, with Donovan Smith? It doesn't really give me an update though. Todd Bowles was also non-committal about the status of Smith or Chris Godwin, 2 big guys as well. So, Tennessee Titans, Taylor Lewan was moved to IR officially. We're still expecting him to retire. Washington Commanders, their offensive line struggled to protect Carson Wentz without Chase Roullier. We covered that last week, though, as well. All right. I also didn't talk. Minkah Fitzpatrick was in concussion protocol. They didn't have that listed here. Hopefully he's going to be able to play this week.
Bring him back, baby.
Playing against the Jets, we could use him. He's a fucking ball hawk, man. 2 pick sixes already this year. Fucking hope he's able to come back.
He might get 2 this Sunday playing against the Jets.
Well, if he's able to play. Depends on where he's at with concussion protocol.
You sure it's not his back?
This guy. Man, he took a nasty hit from Chubb. When he was tackling him, he took a knee to the temple.
Yeah. That's rough. Yeah, that's rough.
We covered it a little bit earlier, but we got the first London game of the season, the Vikings versus the Saints. When we get into versus, I'm gonna be taking the Vikings. Just because I feel like with the Saints they have a lot of injuries right now, and then if Jameis Winston is actually going to be out, I'm not looking forward to the Saints anyway there.
Yeah, the offense is pretty rough.
Yep. Perpeto O'Reilly, NFL Executive VP of Club Business and League Events. Starting this weekend, more than 200 players, coaches, and execs can display their international flags and decals celebrating their heritage. I think it's pretty cool that they're allowing them to do that. It's a way to separate themselves from everybody still.
Right.
Pretty neat. The power rankings were released. And who do you think is going to be at the top? It's not the team I thought.
I thought Dolphins would be.
So the Philadelphia Eagles, that are 3-0, have passed the Buffalo Bills. They were previously ranked 3rd, with the Bills dropping to 2nd, following with the Dolphins at number 3 with a win over the Bills. They were at number 8 previously. The Packers moved up to 4. The Chiefs moved down from number 2 to number 5, which I honestly could have seen a little bit bigger of a jump down just because they lost to the Colts.
Right.
Then you got the Rams at 6th, the Ravens at 7th, the Bucks moving down to 8. They were previously 4th. The Vikings moving to 9, the Bengals to 10, Niners at 11, the Titans at 12, Cowboys at 13. They moved up 8 spots. They were previously 21st. Cooper Rush has been really, really impressive for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll take those back-to-back wins.
Yeah. It's making me scared. I'm going to have to probably cough up on that beanie bed I have with Mr. Bobber Down. Denver Broncos are 14th. Still really lackluster considering they just signed Russell Wilson to a major deal.
Right.
The Chargers dropped from 7th to 15th. Lions stayed at 16. Browns moved up from 22nd to 17th. That's a big jump considering they beat a Steelers team that's not very good right now.
There's a bigger jump right under those boys.
Yeah, with the Jacksonville Jaguars jumping up to 18th. They were previously 28th. Then you have the Saints dropping to 19th. They were previously 13th. Could have been a bigger drop, in my opinion, considering they lost to the Panthers.
Right.
Cardinals, they have dropped from 14th to 20th. They only put up 14 points, right? 14? No, 12. 12 points against the Rams.
They lost 20 to 12, yeah.
It's really interesting. Kyler Murray was pretty much non-existent that game, it seems. He does what he tries to do by creating magic. However, the Call of Duty beta was out, and what the stats show is whenever a new Call of Duty drops or a beta drops, he drops off the face of the earth. And
yeah, he was distracted.
Yep, he was playing too much Modern Warfare 2. It doesn't help that they're missing suspended receiver DeAndre Hopkins, but you know.
Right.
The Raiders dropped 6 spots to 21st, losing to the Titans, which I still feel like the Titans are a very good team. They're just not getting it all together. I also feel like the Raiders are a really good team.
I was just going to bring that up. I definitely think they're not
I don't think
as
they're 21st.
bad as they're showing, but they're the only team that hasn't won yet, and they're still ranked 21st in the league. So clearly they're better than what they're showing. Hopefully they get it together. We'll see what happens.
Yep. Then below them at rank 22nd, we have the New York Giants, which is interesting to me. Who'd the Giants play in week 2? Panthers. They beat the Panthers barely, but they beat the Titans in week 1. So 22nd still kind of interesting considering they just lost to a decent Cowboys team.
Yeah, that defense, man. That boy Daniel was running for his life all night.
Yep. The Colts, they went up from 26th to 23rd. Patriots.
1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie.
Yeah, Matt Ryan and his boys came out and actually did some work against the Chiefs.
Yeah, big shock.
But the refs had a big hand in that one as well. Patriots dropped 6 spots from 18th to 24th. The Falcons went up 4 spots from 29th to 25th. The Steelers dropped 3 spots from 23 to 26th. It's funny. They say it's not that Mitch Trubisky was bad, because he really wasn't. It's just that the veteran ceiling is so low that it turns the Steelers offense into a sports car trying to win a race with a restrictor plate.
Oh, shit.
It's Kenny Pickett time. And the fact that Mike Tomlin's not starting him infuriates the fuck out of me. I want to send a bag of shit to Mike Tomlin's front door right now.
Front door light on fire.
Yes, sir. Chicago Bears moved up 3 spots to 27th. The Seahawks dropped 4 spots to 28th. The Panthers moved up 2 spots to 29th. Commanders dropped 3 down to 30th. The Jets dropped 6 down to 31. And the Texans, well, Texans are the worst team in the league right now at 32nd.
Yeah, their neighbors who are trying to move out soon. They'll be right back down there with them very soon. The Jags, I'm pretty shocked about.
Yeah, that it's interesting to see the Eagles number 1. I don't think the Eagles are the number 1 ranked team right now, but that's just me.
You still got the Bills? Who's the top dog?
I would still put the Bills up there. I would put the Bills number 1. Man, it's hard. I would definitely put the Eagles top 3. I would probably honestly put Bills, Dolphins, Eagles. They're all really good right now.
The beauty about the power rankings is that it's week to week. So yeah. I guess technically Philly deserves it because they're the only undefeated team.
No, Dolphins.
Oh, Dolphins are, sorry, excuse me. Yep. But in that case, I would have to put Dolphins number 1 because they beat the number 2 team.
Well, they beat the number 1 team at the time, but it was also a very injured number 1 team.
But it still happened last week. So power rankings is week to week.
But
I would go out like Dolphins, 6, Eagles, Bills.
They were out 6 players.
So as of right now, they should be below those two other teams. Next week, if they win again, then maybe they'll go back up. In my opinion,
I think we'll definitely see them at the top of the rankings again.
but definitely top 5 makes sense. I would put the Ravens over the Chargers. There's not really much more I would really argue about right now. I definitely would not have the Niners so high. Like I think they're.
No, I think the Niners need to drop a little bit more until Jimmy G gets consistent with the team. It's showing that he didn't have a real training camp with the team.
Right. Well, I mean, he might get it under his wings soon.
I think give him 2 to 3 more weeks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the players of the week for the AFC and NFC. Starting off with the NFC. For the offense, we got running back Cordarrelle Patterson for the Atlanta Falcons. He rushed for 141 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 reception for 12 yards. And their Week 3 win over Seattle. He had 8.3 yards per attempt and led all running backs in Week 3. It's his first career Offensive Player of the Week award. He was named Special Teams Player of the Week as a rookie in Week 8 of 2013 as a member for the Vikings. And he is the first Falcons running back to win the award since Devonta Freeman in Week 15 of 2016.
They are the top 6th rushing team in the league right now. Like I said last week, I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up. Yeah, but we will see.
And like I said, I'm really surprised with how well they are playing. I know Baker was saying he still thinks they're terrible and the worst team in the league, but I don't see it.
They're fighting every week, so
they are.
That's something you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how good of a team they are when they're working together, and it seems like they've got a good chemistry.
Right,
which is good.
That's a good point.
Yep. For NFC defensive, you have defensive end Brandon Graham for the Eagles. Graham recorded 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 pass defended, and 1 forced fumble in the Eagles' Week 3 victory against Washington. He is the only NFC player to record multiple sacks and a forced fumble, as Philadelphia recorded a league-high 9 sacks in Week 3.
I think we all know who should have been that player, but, stuff happens. Lawrence was looking like a monster in the first half.
Yeah, he was.
First half, 6 tackles, 3 sacks.
Yep.
Just saying. In a half.
But he fell off.
He's tweaked his ankle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why he fell off. He went out and then came back in.
Right.
Special teams punter Pat O'Donnell of the Green Bay Packers wins the special teams for the NFC. O'Donnell punted 7 times with a 48.4 average and placed a career high 5 punts inside the 20-yard line in the Packers' Week 3 win over Tampa Bay. Special teams is super important, and it's nice to see a punter get some love.
Agreed.
Speaking of punters getting some love, Pat McAfee was nominated to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's awesome. He went on his show saying he doesn't deserve it. Vote for the other guy, Sean Eckler. But it's still very, very cool. I'd love to see Pat win.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, moving over to AFC. For offense, the quarterback Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars won it for the offense. Lawrence completed 28 of 39 attempts with a 71.8% completion. 262 yards, 3 touchdown passes with no interceptions. He had 115.5 QB rating in the Jaguars' 38-10 victory at the Chargers. As we got into it more, the Chargers seem a lot more injured than what I was thinking, and the Jaguars are definitely a decent team right now. But was it just the Chargers were really injured?
Well, his QB rating for the year so far is 103. So,
okay.
I mean, the guy's handling his business.
Yeah, he's definitely doing work. Like I said, I think he's got 6 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yes, 772 yards.
Yep.
Looking pretty good.
Yep. He had the 2nd highest passer rating in the AFC and was one of 3 players with 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions in Week 3. And this is his first career Offensive Player of the Week award.
Almost top 5 in the league with QB rating.
He's just behind Joe Flacco.
Is he really?
I believe just, what do you say, 700 and how many?
Yards?
Yeah.
772.
He's 129 yards behind Joe Flacco. And Joe
QB rating,
Flacco is
though.
fifth.
That's
Yeah, the QB
that's
rating is very
I look
important.
at that more important because, you mean, the yards that depends on how the game is going and who
But
you're playing. But
QB rating is also affected by if a wide receiver is catching or dropping the ball.
good point. Yep, good point.
For AFC defensive player of the week, you have defensive end Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals. He recorded 4 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles in Cincinnati's 27-12 win over the Jets. He was the only player to record 2 or more sacks and 2 forced fumbles in Week 3. This is his first career Defensive Player of the Week award, and he's the first defensive end to win the award since Carlos Dunlap in 2019 for the Bengals.
Nice.
Fun fact, he's also the first player from the Florida Atlantic to win the award.
Damn.
And then special teams, you got punter Corliss Waitman for the Broncos. He recorded 10 punts with an average of 47.6 yards, pinned 6 inside the 20 for the Broncos' 11-10 win. His 6 punts inside the 20 were the most by any player in a single game this season. This is his first career Special Teams Player of the Week award, and he becomes the first Broncos punter to earn the honor since Week 6 of the 2005 season.
I will say I might have seen the greatest punting match of all time last week with the Niners and the
Broncos.
Broncos, yeah.
Yep.
That was impressive. Those boys got a strong leg on them.
Yes. All right. And let's break into it. Very interesting for the top 5 passers of the league. This is passing yards.
Okay.
So number 1, you have Josh Allen with the Bills at 1,014. So after 3 games, hey, I mean, that's looking over 5,000, almost 6,000 yards.
He's definitely going 5.
Yeah. You got Tua with the Dolphins at 925 at second place. Jalen Hurts with the Eagles at 916. And Justin Herbert with the Chargers at 910. And then Joe Flacco with the Jets at 901. So it's interesting. It's interesting. The Zach Wilson thing is very interesting to me. But it is what it is.
I think a team's going to put their guy back in because I don't think they really.
I think they love Joe Flacco.
I don't think they believe they have this chance to win a division. So, you might as well get your young guy more experience. And I can see if it's later in the year and Wilson went down, and then why put him back in? I mean, yeah, Flacco looks good, but you got to go with the guy you drafted.
Yeah. All right. So it's time for versus.
Let's go, baby.
All right. For Week 3.
Let's start off with the total. Do you have the total?
I do have the total. One of us went 8-8, and the other one of us went 6-10.
And now, do you have the season total?
Oh no, I don't have that yet.
Okay, good.
So, start off the week. Steelers versus Browns. We both chose the Browns. They won. That was a no-brainer there. Browns are the better team. For the Bills versus the Dolphins, we both chose the Bills, and the Dolphins managed to squeak out a victory there.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the Bills had, I believe, 31 first downs on offense, and they had over 40 minutes of possession, and they had 90-plus offensive plays, and they still weren't able to win.
Yeah, if you're playing Madden, you would think the Bills blew them out.
Yeah. Bengals versus Jets. I went with the Bengals. You went with the Jets. You distinctly said you don't win versus by choosing the favorites, and it worked out for me. So thank you. Bengals ended up winning that one. Raiders versus Titans. We both went with Raiders. Titans won. So fun fact, I originally went with the Titans. And then changed my mind halfway through while I was speaking. So regretting that.
Mine too. Damn it.
Saints versus Panthers. We both chose the Saints. Baker Mayfield got it done. Panthers came through with the victory. Ravens versus Patriots. We both chose the Ravens. That was no brainer there. Ravens won. Lions versus Vikings. I chose the Vikings. You chose the Lions. Vikings came through. It was the first week I didn't choose the Lions. Eagles
Only by
versus
4.
Yeah, it was a close game. Eagles versus Commanders. We chose the Eagles. Eagles got it done. Chiefs versus Colts. Pretty sure we said that one's a lock. And
Yep.
we went with the Chiefs. The Colts ended up winning.
We're 0-2 with our week 3 locks.
Yep. Texans versus Bears. I went with Texans. You went with the Bears. Bears won. Not betting on the Texans again.
Yeah.
Jags versus Chargers. We both went with the Chargers. Jags came through with a dominant victory.
Yeah, they did.
Rams versus Cardinals. I went with the Cardinals. You went with the Rams. You said you liked my Cardinals pick, but the Rams ended up coming out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Packers versus Bucks. I went with Aaron Rodgers. You went with Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers was able to come through. That was a low-scoring game as well. 14-12.
Another 2-point.
Falcons versus Seahawks. I went with Falcons. You went with Seahawks. Falcons came out with the dub.
By 4. That was a good pick by you.
49ers versus Broncos. We both went with the 49ers. I figured Jimmy G would be able to get it done. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to. Broncos came through with the dub there. 1-point game. Cowboys versus Giants. We both went with the Cowboys. Cowboys came through with a dub. So I finished this week 8-8. You finished 6-10.
I called the cops. Said they couldn't do anything about it.
What's that?
I called the cops. They said they couldn't do anything about it.
Gotcha. So,
I was desperate.
So you are currently 3 games ahead of me on the season.
Okay.
See if we'll be able to make it up for this week.
So let's go back to the ones that. So there's a 2 different pick, right? So you won by 2 this week?
Yes.
Let's go to the ones that I lost real fast, or the ones that were different on. So,
let's see. For this week, I went Bengals. You went Jets. Bengals won.
Okay, clear cut.
Vikings Lions. I went Vikings. You went Lions.
Close game, 4 points. Okay.
Texans Bears. Also a close game.
Only 3 points, so there's a 1-point difference between our picks. Yep. Got
it. Cardinals Rams.
I don't know why you picked the Cardinals, but yeah, I understand.
I figured Kyler Murray was going to be a little bit more impressive.
Okay.
Packers Bucks.
Only 2 points, close one. I really love your Falcons pick.
Yep, Falcons and Seahawks.
When I saw that, I was like, man, this guy watches football.
But like I said, the Falcons have really impressed me this year. All right. So let's jump into week 4 versus.
All right.
Starting off, the Miami Dolphins at the Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be tomorrow night's game. Remember, Tua is most likely, he's questionable. We don't know if he's going to play or not.
Okay.
Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I'm gonna say the Bengals. I feel like the Bills' offense was walking all over the Dolphins' defense last week with 90 plays, 31 first downs, 40 minutes of possession. They just weren't able to get it done. There was just certain things that happened. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think Joey Burrow is gonna be able to get it done.
I'm kind of stuck on if Tua's gonna be all right, because that's definitely the clear cut, the outcome.
I'm saying this as Tua's not playing.
Is he questionable? What is he looking like?
Let's see, Tua.
Because that's going to be the make or break. But I should have done my homework, and you shouldn't have to do it for me. So I don't want to expose my secrets to my verses, but
so he's not rolled out for tomorrow.
It's a short week. He got hurt. His back gave him a concussion. So
they're not doing a normal practice week because of the Thursday night game. Mike McDaniel mentioned to reporters that if the Dolphins did have a normal practice week, Tua would have been limited in practice and would be questionable for the game. Pain tolerance and ankle and back stability will determine his availability. like I said, I think a concussion's still going to come out of this. His symptoms may show late, just like they did for Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
I'm gonna have to go with. We're gonna go with. Man, the Dolphins' defense looks awful, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I think the captain's gonna get it done. He has the cheetah.
Okay.
I think Dolphins.
All right. Up next we have the Vikings at the Saints, even though it's in London. I'm going with the Vikings. I feel like the Saints have too many injuries, especially if Jameis Winston doesn't play.
Yep, agree. Kamara's. I think he's going to retire after week 5. Michael Thomas
suspension next year.
He's done. Yeah, Vikings for sure. Vikings are going to take this.
They are 2.5-point favorites, by the way. Up next we have
the Vikings.
Yep.
Okay.
Up next we have the Titans at the Colts. Colts were very impressive against the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Colts. The Colts are 3-point favorites. Yeah, I'm going with the Colts. It's in Indianapolis again.
Oh man, I hate the Colts so much. I wish they'd just stop playing the game. Like, just get out of the league.
Spoken like a true Cowboys fan.
But I will say that I think the Colts can outscore the Titans. I'll go Colts.
Okay. Up next, we got the Chicago Bears at the New York Giants. I think Dable's going to outcoach whoever it is in Chicago. I don't remember who it is. I'm taking the Giants.
Probably a good pick, but I'm going to go with the better defense, Bears.
Okay. Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. So the Bills are 3-point favorites. And I believe the Bills and Ravens always play really good against each other. I am going to go with the Ravens, though. I'm going to take the underdog. I feel like the Bills have too many injuries right now. And if I was the Bills, I would much rather sit my guys as much as possible against the Ravens. And missing 6 defensive players, 2 Pro Bowl safeties is big. I think Lamar Jackson is going to go off.
And we did say we never go against the Bills until they show us otherwise. And I
think that Ravens
want to
team
join
is
you.
so damn good.
I think Lamar is going to show. This guy has been balling out of his mind.
Yep.
Lamar is going to go after this defense. The Ravens win.
Up next, we have the Chargers at the Texans. Chargers are 5.5-point favorites. I'm on the Chargers. Not much to say there. After we talk today, I'm convinced.
Chargers.
Okay.
Mills is going to retire.
Up next, we have the Seahawks at the Lions. I'm going with MCDC, the Lions. Lions are 4.5-point favorites.
Lions.
New York Jets at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 3-point favorites. I'm going my boys in black and gold.
You're going with the Steelers, eh?
I am.
Who's some again? Say it again.
Steelers.
I think the Jets outscore the Steelers, and I'm going with the Jets.
Okay. I'm hoping
Let's go.
After the first
Let's
drive,
go.
Mitch Trubisky breaks his leg. Kenny Pickett comes in and lights him up.
The Jets are going to beat the Steelers. You guys are going to sign Flacco and release Trubisky.
Oh, God. Can you imagine Flacco and The Steelers uniform?
No, I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I think Trubisky's going to break his leg. Big Ben's going to come out on the field, grab the broken leg, and then start beating Matt Canada with it. And
Hey, I wouldn't expect anything different from a Steelers man coming off the sidelines into a play.
have you heard that story about?
Yeah, I watched that.
On Pivot.
Oh, I saw myself on the Jumbotron. Like, bro, you didn't see where you're walking? Hello?
Well, like you said, he thought the play was on the other side of the field.
Yeah. I thought I was going to win a lot last weekend, but
Jacksonville Jaguars at the Eagles. This is going to be an interesting test for the Jaguars to see if they are actually what they say they are. Right. Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm starting to get on that train of going with the Eagles till they prove me otherwise.
Now, this is how a betting man makes money, and these are the little games per week that you really have to dial in and actually see. You mean the clear-cut favorite is the Eagles?
I would take the spread on this, by the way. I wouldn't take the straight-up money line. Minus 110 versus minus 290.
Yeah, you mean I'm tearing myself apart trying to tell my ego to shut up. So I'm going to tell them to shut up, and I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Okay. Cleveland Browns at the Atlanta Falcons. I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. Browns are 1.5-point favorites. I think the Falcons are going to be able to get it done. Myles Garrett's not going to play because he's still injured from the car accident.
That's huge.
Yeah.
They're back at home.
Oh, it's domed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's too humid. It rains too much.
Well, they've got a hurricane coming. It's going to be a storm by then.
Man. My cousin's going to hate this, but I'm going to go. They're going to rally around their teammate hurting, and the Browns are going to close this game out. And I want to say by 5.
Okay. Up next, the Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites.
I'm sorry, run that back.
So the Commanders at the Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites. I'm going to go with the Commanders.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be one of those guys. And I'm going to say that the Cowboys completely clamped down on the commies. They have gave up 15 sacks already, and they're playing against the defense with the most sacks. I think the defense is going to go after Wentz, and we already don't like him. So expect this man to be shitting his pants.
You don't make your money from picking the favorites.
Hey, that's true. But, I went my last pick. Now we're going to go with the boys. The Redskins.
This game, I'd probably choose like the under instead of a money line or a spread. It's a 41.5-point over-under.
Yeah, under for sure. Yeah. I think
that's where I would bet this one.
The way that the defense is looking in Dallas, I would say that I'd be shocked if they score 3 times. Washington.
Yeah.
I think they're not gonna be able to pick up the blitz, and Dallas can rush 3 and still cause pressure. So, yeah, I would be pretty upset if Dallas lost against the Commanders.
I feel like this is just going to be an upset. It's something telling me in my gut that Carson Wentz played good one week and then had 2 shitty weeks, and I think he's going to bounce back for a decent week.
Which is very possible. And, it's a divisional game, so maybe they know the scheme and maybe they can pick up the blitz.
They see each other a lot.
Right.
Up next, Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are 1.5 point favorites. I'm going with the Cardinals. There was no Call of Duty. There was Call of Duty this weekend, but it was the end, not the middle.
We have pretty similar picks. I want to say
we have been very similar.
And I'm not really a big fan of.
Actually, no. There's a good bit that we switched.
But I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Okay.
Panthers.
Next, the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Raiders are finally going to get their first win. I think they're going to be able to get to Russell Wilson. We'll see what happens. If they don't, Josh McDaniels is going back to New England.
I'm at this point towards like the opposite of the Bills. You know, it's like they haven't won yet.
Yeah.
I want to pick on them. I want to pick them every single week. I know and I believe that they're better than what they're showing.
Yes.
I think the Raiders can outscore the Broncos. We're going Raiders.
Okay. New England Patriots at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 9.5 point favorites. I'm going to go with the Packers, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the biggest not upsets, overwhelming wins of the week.
Yeah. I'd choose the over on that. It's at 39.5. I think Aaron Rodgers is due to go off.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I would walk in there with you and say, "What are you doing?" Oh yeah, or do double.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, this game's not going to be in Tampa because of the Hurricane Ian that's hitting Tampa right now. They're trying to figure out a stadium for it. It hasn't been announced yet. Chiefs were favorites by 1.5 points. I'm going to say they're favorites even more. Just because Bucks are going to have to end up traveling.
I agree. We covered it last week with all the injuries. I know Evans might be back or is back, but I think the Chiefs are going to come back pissed off, and this might be one of those games where they drop 52. I'm not sure because I know the Bucks have great defense, but I think this is going to be one of those weeks that Mahomes and they're going to dial in.
Yeah, I agree. And then the Monday night game, the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are 1.5 point favorites. I'm going to go with the Rams.
I don't understand that. I don't know what Vegas is thinking. I don't understand what Vegas is thinking.
Maybe they're just giving them the 1.5 points because they're at home. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I always wonder with this. I mean, like I feel like they're fishing for people's money with that spread. $100
wins $100 if you bet on the Rams.
Yeah, I have to go. I don't know, Jimmy G. The Rams. I think they're so much better than what they really are. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, the Rams. Like maybe we were giving them too much credit because of the ring, but yeah. I mean, they struggled against the Broncos. I have more respect for the Rams. But I know the Niners are going to show up. But Rams are going to win it. Monday Night Football, Rams are going to take the W.
I agree. So if you put $10 on my bet and all of my games hit, you will win $49,632.37. If you put $10 on all of your bets cap, you will win $116,028.82.
Just run that back again?
If you put $10 on your bet, you would win $116,028.82.
And yours?
Mine is $49,632.37. You definitely went a lot more heavy on the underdogs by choosing the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bears.
There's something about the Bears this year. I mean, I thought they were going to be garbage, but I don't know, man. That defense is studded. And Fields is completely awful. But
I feel like we just haven't seen enough of them yet.
yeah, the way when I pick my matchups every week is that I'm not saying everyone's going to pick their favorites. I'm not saying that, but I will say that there's going to be a majority of similar picks. So you have to pick certain games out of the week that you feel like you might have a better chance to maybe pull off something.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I go after. The Dolphins have always been great to me with my matchups, with my verses from the past decade, I could say. Bears is one of them that I usually kind of pick. I usually pick the team that has a really good defense and kind of a shittier offense.
Yeah.
And that's how I go about it.
Gotcha. Well, that wraps up versus, and I'm pretty sure that's going to wrap up week 4 for Dialed In. It was a good day. We had a little bit of arguments there with QB stuff, and it was fun. It was a good day.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Oh, definitely.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens, man. Once your little next to kin kicks in, that's going to be a good episode.
We will see. But all right, I appreciate you. I will see you next time. We'll text throughout the week.
That's right, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
you
man.
have a good night, brother.
Have a good one.